Tonight's homework is big numbers. It is on page 71 and 72 in our homework journal, and it goes over rounding and place value and ordering numbers and all of the stuff we've been talking about in class. Number 1, each weekend Dylan and his dad go fishing. Dylan checks the odometer reading for each trip and records it in their mileage book. An odometer is an instrument on the dashboard of a car that tells you how far you've driven. So some people will reset their odometer to know how long of a trip they've taken. Some people just kind of write it down. Not many people use it anymore, but some people used to use it to figure out how many miles they had left for gas and different things like that. Put the readings in order as they would appear in the book from least to greatest. The first one is done for you. So even if we're still not sure that odometer thing, we know we're putting our numbers in order from least to greatest. And I started with 89,776. I don't have any other 89,000, so I'm going to go to the next one. The next number in the 10,000s place is a 9. Well, they all have 9s. Then I'll look at the thousands place. I have a 3, a 0, a 1, a 5, a 9, and a 1. Well, 0 is the smallest, so 90,089 will be next. Then I have 2 that are at 91,000. This one has a 4 in the hundreds place. This one has a 2 in the hundreds place. And 2 is smaller than 4. Then I have 93,000, 95,000, 99,000. 93,000 is the next smallest, followed by 95,000, and then 99,000. Number 2, says look at the following numbers. Circle the number that is closest to 60,034. Well, 60,000 is 34 away. 60,100 is 66 away. And these get bigger and bigger. So it's actually 60,000. And I could look in that hundreds place, if I were to round it to that hundreds place. There's a 0 and this is a 3. That 3 is not enough to bump it up, so it would stay that 0 in the hundreds place. Number 3, circle the number that is closest to 194,321. Well, it looks like these are all looking at the thousands place. There's a 4 in the thousands place and a 3 next door. The 3 is not enough to change the 4, so it's going to stay and everything else will turn into 0. So 194,000 is that. The next one again rounds to the thousands place. And the 3 is in the thousands place and the 9 is next door. The 9 is enough to bump it up. So it would be 234,000. And then my last one, it looks like we're rounding all the way to the millions place. And right next door is the 9, and that's enough to bump that 4 up. So I get 235 million is the closest. On the back, round each of the numbers below to the nearest hundred. Use the number line to help if you'd like. So 567, if I'm rounding to the hundreds, that 6 is enough to jump it up, it jumps up to 600. 450, 4 is in the hundreds, the 5 is next to it, it's enough to bump it up, so it goes to 500. 717, the 7's in the hundreds, the 1 is not enough to change it, so it stays a 700. 649, there's a 6 in the 100, the 4 is not enough to change it, so it stays a 600. On 889, the 8 is in the hundreds, the next 8 is the one that tells me, and it's enough to bump it up to 900, and 905, I've got a 9 there, the 0 is definitely not enough to bump it up, so it stays 900. Number 7, we're doing the same thing, but we're looking at the thousands place. So I've got a 4 in the thousands place and a 9 next door. that 9's enough to bump it up to 5,000. I've got a 7 in the thousands place and a 5 next door, and that 5 is enough to bump it up, so it has 8,000. For 5,099, I've got a 5 in the thousands place and a 0 next door. That's not enough to change it, so it stays at 5,000. In 8,750, I've got an 8 in the thousands and a 7 next to it. The 7's enough to bump the 8 up to a 9. 9,499 has a 9 in the thousands place and the 4 there. The 4 is not enough to bump up the 9, so it stays a 9 and everything else turns to 0. And my last one, I have a 6 in the thousands. That 1 is not enough to bump it up, so the 6 stays and everything else turns to 0. Number 8. Amanda is sure she got the highest score on a video game, but she's not sure what the number is. Please write it down for her using base 10 numbers, so just our regular numbers. She scored 943,261,586. Caleb is positive he beat Amanda's score. His score was 9,298,199. Who got the higher score? Well, if I'm comparing them, they both have 9s in the 100 millions. Amanda has a 4 in the 10 millions, and Caleb only has a 2. So Amanda has a higher score, and you're going to write something along the lines of, because the 4 is the 10 millions place is bigger than the 2 in the 10 millions place. That is our homework for tonight.